everything gas laws. That's what we're going to talk about today. Boyle's law, Charles' law, combined gas law, and ideal gas law. This is a comprehensive lesson. We're going to go through the definitions, formulas, and for examples. Know how to use each of the formulas. The other thing is that we need to be able to convert Celsius to Kelvin. That's a unit of temperature, and solve for missing variables using algebra. Okay, first, the summary table of unit of pressure. I set it up for you here, and basically you kind of need to memorize them, but for the most part, kilopascal, 1 kilopascal is 1000 Pascal, and Pascal is the SI unit for pressure. 1 Pascal is, PA is, that is 1 Newton per meters squared. That's the unit of pressure, and it's so small that we usually don't use that, so we use a kilo. Kilo is 1000 Pascal. That's the prefix for the unit, kilo. That's what we use for in most of the chemistry 11. The next one is atmosphere, and 1 atmosphere is 101.3 kilopascal. Okay, and then the next one is mmHg. That's millimeters of mercury. In olden times, they used to have these tubes where they had these balls of mercury in there, and depending on how much that mercury, the ball or disk of mercury was moving in millimeters, each one would have been 1 atmosphere. So, and that goes back a long time ago. They don't use that anymore. And the other ones got to do with the torr is 1 mmHg and millimeter of mercury, and the other one, the bar, 1 bar is 100 kilopascal. Okay, so these are the units. Most of the time we're going to deal with kilopascal anyways, or atmosphere. Okay, that's what we're going to use. Next thing, important note. Okay, this is very important. This is for you, and you may want to write this down or copy it or screenshot or whatever you have to do. Never use Celsius and gas law formulas ever. That's the trick. That's the common mistakes a lot of students make. Okay, so you always have to use Kelvin. Kelvin is never has a degree symbol, right? So you can have 25 degrees Celsius, 292. That's 292 Kelvin K. That's it. That's all it is. There's no degree or anything like that symbol on top. And Kelvin and Celsius with Kelvin cannot be negative. So Kelvin can never be negative value, but Celsius can be, obviously, right? So if you're in Canada, you get temperatures, obviously negative temperatures is below 0, but in Kelvin, you do not. Okay, now let's start up with examples. Here is the first one. We're going to talk about Boyle's law. This is pressure and volume inverse relationship. All right, and it's very actually intuitive. This is the formula for it right here, and P1 and P2 is the pressure before and pressure after when the volume changes, and volume before and volume after the pressure changes. So that's what they are for. And volume is, the unit of volume is liter, the pressure again either atmosphere or kilopascal, and then we just have to go through it that way. Okay, as long as they're consistent, make sure that the units must be consistent. Okay, let's go ahead and start up with what we do have. We have P1, we have pressure increases. So now the pressure increases to 2.0 atmosphere. We want to know the new volume V2. Okay, and this is the part where you have to manipulate the formula very quickly. And it's very simple. Plug numbers in. We're solving for V2. So what do we have to do? We have to divide everything by the 2.0. I am going to not write the ATM, the unit in there, just that for simplicity's sake. So what we will have is V2, the second volume is 1.8 liters. Very simple. All right, now let's look at another question, knowing that we just gone through Boyle's law. This is when pressure and volume inverse relationship. So what does that mean actually? Let's talk about that quickly. When pressure goes up, volume goes down. That is what you need to remember. That's what it means when we say inverse relationship. And the other way around, by the way, if the pressure goes down, the volume will go up. Okay? That's what it means. Okay, let's look at the next question. The second example is about Charles' law. This is volume and temperature relationship, and it is a direct relationship. So what does that mean? If volume goes up of the gas, this is gas laws, right? If the volume goes up, the more volume, the temperature increases. If the volume goes down, the temperature goes down. Simple as that. That's the direct relationship. That means one goes up, the other one goes up. One goes down, the other one goes down. And the formula is given by this. And T1 and T2, they are the temperature, okay? The temperature of the given gas in that specific volume. Now, the very first thing we need to do, we need to make sure that these temperatures are in Kelvin, not Celsius. Okay, so that means we need to do the conversion of Kelvin and Celsius. So here is the formula for it. So K, Kelvin, if you want to find whatever Kelvin is, you get the degree Celsius, whatever that is, you add 273 to it. Okay, so as an example, I just put an example right here for you. 25 degrees Celsius is, you add the 25 degrees Celsius, so you add that to 273, you'll get 298 Kelvin. Simple as that, okay? And here's another example where you want to go from Kelvin to Celsius. Sometimes you have to do that. If the question, the final question for you is that leave the temperature in Celsius, so we want to find out, you get the Kelvin, you subtract 273 to Kelvin from it, and then you'll get the answer. Here's an example again, very straightforward. If you want to find out what is 310 Kelvin in degrees Celsius, okay? So you take 310, subtract 273 from it, and that will give you 37 degrees. Very simple. These two kind of a formula for interchanging unit of Kelvin and Celsius. Okay, now let's go ahead and answer the question using this formula. Look at the question. So we have a gas has a volume of 2.5 liters at 25 degrees Celsius. What is the volume at 75 degrees Celsius? So notice that we got 25 degrees and 75 degrees. The very first thing we're going to need to do, we need to change. So 25 degrees Celsius in Kelvin, you would just add 273 to that, and then you'll get 298 Kelvin. The 75 degrees Celsius, you do the same thing, and remember to change that to Kelvin, you add 273 to that, and then what you will get is 348 Kelvin. Excellent. What do we know? We know V1 is equal to 2.5 liters. We want to know what the V2 is given the temperature that has gone up to 75 degrees. Okay, so now we're going to use the formula. So let's plug numbers in. So what is V1? V1 is 2.5 liters divided by T1, which is this one right there, 298. That's equal to V2. We don't know. I'm just going to leave it as V2 divided by T2, and that is your T2, 348 Kelvin. All right, multiply, cross multiply, and then divide by 298. Okay, cross multiply and then divide the odd man out. Okay, so V2 is equal to 2.5 times 348 divided by 298, whatever that volume is, and is 2.92 liters. Here it is. So this was an example of, you go back again, Charles' law, where volume and temperature, they are directly related to each other. Volume goes up, temperature goes up, okay? Volume goes down, temperature goes down, and vice versa. All right, let's look at another example and another law. This is a combination of the two laws, Charles' law and Boyle's law. So, and the formula is really straightforward, really. You know everything in this formula already. The T's are temperatures, V are the volumes, and P is the pressure, and this is before and after. When you change the temperature, when you change the volume, and everything else. So as long as, remember, they have to have the same unit of pressure, they have to have the same unit of volume, and the volume has to be in liters, all right? And of course, the temperature always in Kelvin. First, question says a gas at 0.95 atmosphere, 4 liters, and 20 degrees is changed to 1.20 atmospheric pressure, okay, and 40 degrees Celsius. So not only the pressure went up, the temperature also went up. The question is find the new volume, all right? So we do the quick change of T1 right there, and T2, which is right there, okay, and using the Kelvin Celsius formula there to change the unit from Celsius to Kelvin. You just add the 273 to each one of them, and then we're going to use this formula, okay? Now, it makes sense to write what we do have. Let's list them right here under T1 so that we know exactly what we have and we can solve it. So these are all the information that we have. We're going to plug numbers into this formula and solve for the variable that is missing, which is V2. Everything else we know. Okay, let's go ahead and plug numbers in. So when you plug numbers in, that's what you're going to get. Okay. Now I removed the units just for simplicity's sake, but all the units are matching. We checked that already here. We don't have to worry about that. So I can remove them, and then I'm going to put it back in there at the very end. So here's what we have. Now, couple of ways of doing this. You can deal with one thing at a time, or you can do it with all at once. So you can multiply the 313 to the top, like cross multiplication, and then bring the 1.2, this one, to the bottom, and that would be the answer to V2. You can do that if you want to, or you can rewrite this formula up there. Okay, so the V2 formula, if you really want to deal with the V2 formula, would be P1 V1 T2 divided by T1 P2. This is the formula to find the V2, the second volume. So here it is. I just multiply 4 by 0.95 and then 3.8 and just rewrote the whole thing. I just didn't want to confuse you. So now you multiply 313 by 3.8. So 3.8, you multiply that by 313, and that is divided by 293. That's equal to 1.2 V2. Is that okay? Right? That's what we have. Now we have to divide everything by 1.2 because we have to get rid of the 1.2 because we need to solve for V2. And when you divide the other side, that's basically you multiplying the denominator by 1.2 because you're dividing, right? All right. When you do this, your final answer will be, which is right here. You just have to punch in the calculator and get what the value it will be. And V2 will be 3.39 liters. This is the combined formula of Charles' law and Boyle's laws, right? We need to do one more example, and that is example 4 right there, the ideal gas law. And this one is solving for moles. All right. Now, the formula for it is given by this formula. You know everything in there except R. You even know what N is. N is number of moles, okay? But R, which is, I put a definition right here. That's called the universal gas constant. It basically connects pressure, volume, and moles and temperature into one consistent equation. That's what it does, okay? So this is the ideal gas law formula, and you need to solve it, but that's the only one that the moles are involved. All right, remember, temperature still has to be in Kelvin. All right, so what do we have here? We have the pressure 1.10 atm. The question says you have 2.50 liter container holds gas at 1.10 atmosphere. How many moles of gas are present? Excellent. So we have that. We have the temperature. It is in Celsius. We need to change that to Kelvin. We know how to do that. We just add 273 to that. And we know that R is a fixed value. 0.0821 is the value of R. And we want to know what T is. But first, volume. Do we know the volume? Sure we do. That's 2.50 liters. And we want to know the number of moles. Okay, I put a asterisk here for the universal gas constant, and I put the value here 0.0821, but this is a specific number given that we are dealing with the pressure unit of atmosphere. Okay, if this was kilopascal, the R value will be different. Okay, and that will be given to you by your teacher or on the sheet somewhere. And I'm going to explain what that is. So that value is also 8.314. Now, I did not put in the unit yet, but the unit of this constant is based on, because the formula for R, the constant is PV divided by NT. Okay, whatever the unit of the pressure is with the liters divided by mole times the Kelvin, that would be the unit of this constant. But because so ugly, we don't put it on. Okay, we just leave it at the number like that. Just be aware, this one 0.0821 specifically is when you're dealing with the pressure unit of atmosphere. If it is not atmosphere, with kilopascal, then you gotta use the 8.314. So here it is. I put the note here for you to remember for each of these numbers. 8.314 only when we have pressure unit is kilopascal, and the other one is only when the pressure unit is atmosphere. All right, let's find out what the answer is. Okay, we're going to use that formula. Let's plug it in. The first thing is we need to change 27 degrees to how many kelvins that is. That is, you just add 273. What do we get? 300 Kelvin. That's what we get. Now we're going to go ahead and plug numbers in. Now, we want to solve for the n in that formula. So you divide both sides of that equation by RT in ideal gas law. All right, we're going to plug numbers in and let's see what we get. 0.112 mole. That is the number of moles for this container at this specific pressure and this specific temperature. All right, I hope this was useful. Check out the quiz in the description below. This was a complete gas law examples, so make sure you go back and make sure you take all the notes. All right, until next time.